Sam didn't have the mic on. Wow. How about that?
I have no
the
idea what he's
audio
talking
wasn't
about.
on to start. What a low
I'm not
moment.
sure that's true.
It absolutely was, because it wasn't bouncing.
Welcome into NFL Daily, everybody.
Everyone type in L for Sam not having the audio on. Wow. Good thing we're not out in A, otherwise everyone would have known now. It's just a couple people will know. All right, we're live right now on YouTube, Facebook, and on Rumble. The pin poll today, because I was inspired by some Patrick Mahomes contract rumors. Also, the NFL Top 100 will be coming out soon, and that list always sucks. And I saw 4 ballots from unnamed players, of course. Sam, of the 4 ballots, how many do you think had Mahomes as the best player in the NFL?
I saw the ballots. It was only one, right?
One. And
that's dumb.
One ballot had Josh Allen over Patrick Mahomes, which is just wrong.
The poll was taken by a Bills player.
Yes, honestly, yes, I think so. Because they vote for their friends and teammates.
Yeah.
Who do you think is the best quarterback in the NFL? M for Mahomes, O for other. Vote in the pin poll and comment who else it would be if you're voting in O for other.
You could tell one of
them
them
says it was Tom Brady. Okay, career-wise, absolutely. This past year, no, but career-wise, of course. But right now, he's gone.
You could tell one of them was done by a Viking because it had Kirk Cousins over Joe Burrow.
It had Kirk Cousins at like 12 or something. Because, again, that list is bad. It's a bad list. Do not give it any credibility. Jags fans typing in Trevor Lawrence. Eagles fans typing in Jalen Hurts. Like, I can't get on board with that. I can't. I'm sorry. Hurts top 10 quarterback.
As an Oklahoma graduate and someone who covered him for an entire year, that's wrong. It's
Charlie says Dak, and that's wrong too. Vince says A-Rod 8. Rodgers wasn't that good last year, though. If you get like the MVP Rodgers from 2 years ago, yes, that's definitely a conversation. But last year, no. Geno Smith right in, Brock Purdy, and also Carson Wentz. And on that note, we will end the poll conversation. Because now we're just having fun and trying.
I will allow.
I appreciate it.
I will allow an argument for Dirty Purdy.
No, I think second is Burrow.
What about for Big Cock Brock?
No.
BCB.
No. Man, we are really excited about a 7-game sample size in which Brock Purdy played exactly like how Jimmy Garoppolo has played. It's really weird to me. Well, that's a different conversation for a different day. Which, by the way, not a bad thing, especially for Mr. Irrelevant. Ooh, good answer from Vince. Ben DiNucci. That is the correct answer. I'm changing my vote.
That one in the conversation
I'm changing my vote to Ben DiNucci. All right, let's go to some predictions for free agency. Who do you think will end up signing Ezekiel Elliott? There's been some. We're going to go rumors for sure that the Bucs are in the mix, but those have been conflicted or contradicted by Bucs beat reporters. And the Bucs were my initial prediction. Then they added Chase Edmonds and nobody really else to the running back room, which I think would add some more feasibility to Zeke. Who ends up signing him? I see Patriots. I think they're actually in decent shape. The Ramondre Stevenson stocks have never been higher.
Oh, yeah.
About to be my guy, Pierre Strong, though. I can't wait for it.
Boomer sooner.
He's going to break out. Raiders, Bucs, nobody. The Cowboys. Zeke's had to play on the cheap. He ain't getting big money. I promise you that. Lions, if they hadn't drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, maybe. Raiders, then Jacobs to Dallas. I kind of doubt it since they also franchise tag Pollard. What's up, Sam?
I will say I don't despise the idea of Zeke and Jacobs as a 1-2 punch in Vegas.
Isn't that what Zamir White is for?
Sure, but if they don't think he's quite where they want him to be, I think that's an option. I think you talked about it last week, like the idea that Zeke will probably sign with a team around training camp whenever, injuries pop up or a team's like, okay, we thought our running back room would be better than this, but until then it's gonna be quiet, it feels like.
NFL's very ageist. Always remember that. So Dolphins, some more Cowboys, Dolphins. The Dolphins have enough backs, and also I kind of think Zeke's a terrible fit for them. Like they want big plays in that offense. That is not Zeke anymore.
You missed a word. The Dolphins have enough mid running backs.
If you want to add mid, okay. I don't really think that's all right. It's fine. Up to you.
Am I crazy?
I don't
Name
think
one
I
of their
don't think
running
they're
backs
mid.
that's above average.
When healthy, I actually think Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, I think Devon Achane can be above average.
They haven't. I mean,
now the healthy part is the issue.
That's
why they signed them all. Yeah?
That's the reason why I don't put them in that list.
That's fair. That's fair then. The field from True Allure, good answer. Chat Sports from Rashard Lee. Panthers, Patriots, Ravens, Bucs as well. Not coming to Carolina. I think Miles Sanders is going to be the guy for them. Well, he could be fun there. We'll also talk trades on today's show. Bleacher Report picked up some blockbuster for some of them, so we'll go with that one there. So name a player who you want to see be traded. I'd say keep it somewhat realistic, but who cares? It's May. We got the schedule release and some other random stuff that isn't as impactful. Retirement in there too. Now we got Lakers in 5. Lakers in 5 tonight, Sam?
No, I think the Dubs get it done.
All right. Extend it. We'll see.
Bet the over.
Chase Young from John Dorman. That's a good answer. Mac Jones from Christopher Flores. If only Jack was producing. He could go on his Bailey Zappi hype train. I remember the week in the office where our Patriots fans were like, Bailey Zappi's the truth. And then it was like, okay, well, maybe no one's the truth on that team. Name a player who you guys want to see traded. Budda Baker. Mike Evans. Under the radar one, I think. Under the radar one.
The Bucs are going to be really average.
I see Dalvin Cook to Miami, Kelvin Joseph, but no one wants him. Denver Broncos wide receivers. Probably the right answer. DeAndre Hopkins, Khalil Mack back to the Raiders. Chargers would never, but wouldn't that be funny? Several DeAndre Hopkins comments in there from Donald and Brandon and Parlay as well. We'll spend some time on Malik Willis, as there's plenty of questions around the former third-round pick who was I guess, this year's Hendon Hooker, or last year's Hendon Hooker, right? Potential first-round pick, could go early. Maybe a hybrid between Hendon Hooker and Will Levis of like, this guy could go top 5. He was never going to. I could still go first round, and then ends up going in the third round altogether. Tennessee drafted Will Levis. They are out on Malik Willis. I think that's pretty clear. So what will they end up doing with him? T for trade, K for keep, or C for cuts? Go ahead and vote in the comment section. TKC, Sam?
I think they keep him. Hoping that they can find some sort of maybe in-season trade partner. That seems a little far-fetched, but I think that if you know that your top 2 quarterbacks are going to be set anyways, and we're going to talk about this later in the rumors portion of today's live show, I think that it's already clear at this point in time. So his value is not going to get any higher from here. If you're able to boost
unless he plays well in the preseason.
Exactly. So if you're able to boost that up a little bit, so technically the answer is T for trade, but I think they're going to keep him to start and hopefully be able to boost his value up a little bit more. But it's already pretty tanked.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like, what will they do with Malik Willis by week 1? Is kind of the maybe that's
I'll say
not on the screen, but part of the question.
I'll say trade for a bag of footballs and a jug of Gatorade.
I think you can get a little bit more than him. I think you could. Sound off in the comment section. T for trade, K for keep, C for cut. And if you are ready for us to get to today's live show started, then like the video. 100+ people watching. We're asking for a third of you, not even a third, to like the video right now. And a good portion of you have not yet done so. That makes me very sad. So help us out. Like the video right now. We will not start until we get to 30 likes. We're only 5 away there. Put the fan on real quick too, Sam. It's a little stuffy in here today.
Oh yeah, I've got mine.
I'm not sure why. Ooh, that was look at that fancy dissolve as the camera adjusts when I disappeared. I've never seen that before. That's something.
Welcome to the 21st century.
37 likes, we got it. Thank you, Richard, and others who have liked it as well. Here's what's coming up on today's live show: NFL news and rumors. We'll look at some of the announced NFL games, mention some of the rumors out there as well. The official schedule comes out on Thursday. Live mailbag, 2 ways to get on the show. Hashtag NFL or Super Chat. Super Chat guarantee. NFL, you're stuck having producer Sam pick you or not. NFL free agency destinations. We'll look at some of the top players left and where I think they will end up signing. Knowing it's a shot in the dark anyway. And Bleacher Report. Put together some blockbuster trades. We'll break down the good, the bad, the ugly from those. All coming up live here on NFL Daily. Welcome into NFL Daily. I am Tom Downey. The NFL schedule releases, well, depending on when you're watching exactly, we'll say roughly 24 hours away. We'll break down the games we know so far in a little bit. But first, some contract rumors for Patrick Mahomes. Pro Football Talk reports the Chiefs are expected to tweak Mahomes' deal and allow him to become the highest paid quarterback in the NFL once again. Now, the way this gets tweaked to hit that threshold is going to be a little bit interesting. What Florio mentioned as the possibility is you do a 3-year extension on top of his current $9 million 9-year deal. You give him 3 years, whatever, 52 and a half or 55, whatever it ends up being, extension. Yeah, I guess guarantee some more of the current deal, which is kind of already a fully guaranteed rolling structure. It's a very unique contract. But you do the new money average. That's how everyone does the APY. So then Mahomes once again becomes the quote-unquote highest paid quarterback, even though his contract has kind of always been an outlier deal. And if you take away Mahomes, then it's just you got guys beating the previous highest paid player, right? And this list is not done because remember, there's Joe Burrow. There's Justin Herbert. Lamar and Jalen Hurts already got paid. They beat out Aaron Rodgers for the previous highest paid quarterbacks. Also a bit of a unique contract from that perspective. But look, Mahomes is Mahomes. I think he's the best quarterback, best player if we want to give some boost to the most important position in the NFL. And you can make the occasional argument for any given week, Aaron Rodgers if he's playing well, a Josh Allen, a Joe Burrow, but for my money, it's Mahomes. And I think that's the vast majority of the votes. So who do you think is the best quarterback in the NFL? M for Mahomes, O for other. Comment who the other is, by the way, in the comment section right now. Let's go to Ezekiel Elliott, the former Dallas Cowboys running back. There are conflicting rumors out there on the Bucs' interest in adding Ezekiel Elliott, and there are some reasons why this has made sense. You can go back to when the Cowboys first cut Zeke, our Zeke Destinations video. Number one was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs are not exactly loaded right now at the running back spot. They're fairly thin, and the Bucs' current running backs coach, Gary Brown, coached Zeke in Dallas. Let's look at the two conflicting options here. Here's what Jeremy Fowler of ESPN reported on SportsCenter. The Bucs could be an option for him. I'm told they're looking for someone behind Rachaad White. The problem could be the money. The Bucs probably wouldn't want to spend all that much, but he could be an option there. I will make note, Gary Brown made the comment today to media in Tampa. Someone's got to tell him he's not a $12 million a year back. He's maybe a $4 million a year back. Tying those together is at least so interesting. Now, Greg Allman, who's a Bucs local reporter, says nothing has changed with the Bucs in their backfield group. I don't see Elliott signing with Tampa. So we got the national and the local conflicting reports on the level of interest in Zeke in Tampa. So let's go to our pinned comments on today's show. Who do you think ends up signing Ezekiel Elliott? Like I mentioned, it's the pinned comment on today's show. So if an ad break comes here on the YouTube side, take advantage of it. Head down there and vote who you think ends up landing Zeke this offseason. Maybe the Cowboys are still a return option there in the end. Elliott is not what he was in his prime. There's really no way to argue that's actually the case. That Elliott can still be that 1,500-yard runner, even the 2019 version. What he's been the past 3 years is an elite short yardage back, red zone machine, who simply doesn't get enough big plays to make it worthwhile. 3.8 yards per carry is not very good. Now, the issue in Tampa is they don't have the best running backs there. Rachaad White's going to be RB1. I'm excited for him this year. Chase Edmonds was 3.6 yards per carry last year. He was awful in Miami, but he was much better in Denver. Beyond that, it's Patrick Laird, who's kind of bounced around. Keyshawn Vaughn, former third-round pick, has been a colossal disappointment. Sean Tucker is a UDFA who had some medical stuff, caused him to fall. Couldn't maybe make the roster for this Bucs team. So the need is there at the running back spot for Tampa. So it's a logical fit. It's a matter of, is it the national media guessing at it, or does the local media, are they really, really tapped into what's going on there? Let's talk Malik Willis now. As the report out of Tennessee, it's a Fox Sports reporter, Ben Arthur, who has done plenty of Titans coverage in the past, but he just did the national stuff there. Malik Willis is likely the odd man out in that Titans quarterback room. And that does make some sense. They typically carry two quarterbacks. They have Ryan Tannehill under contract. Will Levis is the long-term piece. It's not Willis anymore. He struggled as a rookie. There's no way around it. He simply did not play very well in what was a small sample size, but Tennessee benched him and got better play out of Joshua Dobbs, which should raise some concerns. Malik Willis was simply not ready for the NFL. Under 51% completion rate, 276 passing yards in several starts, no touchdowns to the air, 3 interceptions. Big arm, great mobility, doesn't pull the trigger the way he needs to, especially over the middle of the field. But that shouldn't have been that big of a surprise. He was always viewed as a project. He was always viewed as the upside bet. It was never supposed to be a player, especially when the Titans drafted him, of he can come in and start right now and will have immense success. That he was always viewed as more of a project. And that's what makes things very tricky now for Malik Willis, because the team that drafted you is clearly out. The new team that takes you probably knows you need at least a year, if not more, of development, of growth. So you're sitting for a year. Now you're going to be 25 years old, and you're going to have 2 years left on your deal, and you're probably in a spot where you didn't invest that much in. You're not going to have that many opportunities. You have to go to the perfect spot if you're Malik Willis to maximize your starting potential in the shorter term or sticking around longer term as a backup. I do still think the mobility helps that area, but he's got to become a vastly better passer. Several teams could make some sense for Malik Willis, whether it's because of need or good landing spots to be patient and grow and learn. I think Seattle and Dallas check that second box of, like, they have established starters. Dallas probably more so than Seattle. Seattle's going to got some more upside there if Geno, maybe not the guy after 1 year, but how much are they going to invest in QB2? Miami could be a fun fit with Mike McDaniel behind Tua, allow some more read option than maybe the full-fledged RPO stuff. Well, they ran plenty of RPOs at Liberty from Malik Willis. The Niners stand out because, well, they need quarterbacks. The Chiefs would probably be a great fit of, like, just be behind Mahomes. Sit there and learn and see if good things happen. The Jets with Rodgers, since Zach Wilson ain't it. And the Ravens, I think, are actually the best fit. Lamar's not going anywhere. But Tom was a Pro Bowl quarterback with 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That was only 2 fewer than Malik Willis. Not that far behind. So come week 1, what will Tennessee do with Malik Willis? T for trade, K for keep, or C for cut? Go ahead and vote for us in the comments section. We're talking Austin Ekeler trade now, as the Chargers GM, Tom Pelesco, says he doesn't want to trade Austin Ekeler. He never wanted to, which I actually do believe. But remember, Ekeler requested a trade because he wasn't able to get a bigger deal from the Chargers, because the NFL doesn't care about running backs anymore. It's not fair, but it is the proper roster construction of, if you have a running back, you can give him maybe 1 contract. 2 contract backs, the Adrian Petersons, those guys are very rare. Eckler's still good, don't get me wrong, but teams are not lining up to pay him $10 million over 3 years. That's just, at his age, his workload, not how it works. Here's what the Chargers GM had to say. Nothing's changed. His situation is unique. I completely understand that, which is why we kind of allowed them to kind of look and see if there was anything out there. We had no intent, no interest in trading him, but fully knowing the situation to go ahead and do it. Seems like that's what happened then. Ekeler didn't find the market. So he's back in L.A. He'll try free agency again next year. He's still a good football player. He can still give you 900 yards on the ground and a couple hundred yards through the air. Frankly, I wonder if the Lions try to use Jahmyr Gibbs like Austin Ekeler. That could be a great fit for him. Ekeler is not going to be he could be a 300-touch guy, but it's not all going to be on the ground. That's not maximizing him. That is definitely going to be let's keep him involved, but also still mix in a lot of passing game work there. Because teams didn't want to pay him $10 million. I mean, this list has changed. Ezekiel Elliott was on this list not that long ago. Christian McCaffrey's been traded already. There's been Dalvin Cook trade rumors. Joe Mixon has been on the chopping block. Aaron Jones took a pay cut. Then it's 3 franchise tag guys. I don't think there are not other spots where 3 of the top 10 highest paid players are franchise tag guys, and beyond them, rookie deal players. Saquon was on this list as a rookie. That's why the running back market has been so wonky. I'll use maybe that word in the end. Now, we will have plenty of NFL news and rumors and trades and free agency and draft coverage, of course, here. So make sure you are subscribed. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. The NFL schedule will officially be announced Thursday. Again, roughly 24 hours. We do know some of the games. The 5 international games have been formally announced by the league. Falcons against the Jags. That is in Wembley Stadium. And Jacksonville is playing back-to-back London games. We'll have some nice tea. Although I think we should always throw it in Boston, but that's just me. Jags versus Bills. So Jacksonville's always got the London games. That one's going to be in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Same with Ravens against the Titans. 2 Germany games this year. No games in Mexico. They are renovating the big stadium down there, so they'll be back next year. Dolphins, Chiefs in Frankfurt Stadium, just like Colts and Patriots. Then 3 of the major date games, non-Thanksgiving here. Dolphins at Jets on Black Friday, so my theory of Cowboys-Jets Thanksgiving Day is canceled. Giants at Eagles on Christmas Day. And Bengals-Chiefs New Year's Eve. That is going to be an electric football game in Week 17 of this upcoming season. All right, what do you guys like more? I think I know what will win because this is an NFL-focused show. But NFL or NBA? We've got the draft lottery in less than a week. Should be a fun time here. We will be live for that, by the way, on Chat Sports. And we'll have immediately afterwards a new mock draft for you guys. I'm very curious to see how the lottery ends up going this year. I think it's always rigged. Sam, Dallas is not going to keep their pick. It's not happening for your Mavs, I'm telling you. It's not happening. If they don't,
we know who to blame. We know that the NBA corrupted this lottery and rigged it against the Mavericks to double down on their bullshit punishment for what half the league has been doing for months and tanking.
Yeah, but you couldn't make it so damn obvious.
It was obvious. There's no doubt.
It was too obvious.
There's no doubt. Go look at the Jazz's injury report. It's like every player on the roster is just listed. It's left knee soreness, right thumb.
Yeah, that's what you do instead of making it so clear.
Right thumb bruised, left eye kind of itchy, questionable. This is what the league has been doing. Half the league has been doing all season.
I think the Spurs are going to get the number 1 overall pick.
I think it's either going to be Spurs or Pistons. And either way, they're going to be very, very happy with their outcome.
Victor, yeah. I see NFL. Spurs deserve number 1. Richard hopes the Bulls get number 1. Hey, the Blackhawks got the best hockey player that they probably shouldn't have had their first-round pick for. Probably should have been taken away. So I think Chicago's had enough. The Bulls have a number 1 pick chance, 1.8%. So probably not.
The Mavs have 3%.
Mavs have 3% chance.
Telling me there's a chance.
And a better chance to lose that pick to the New York Knicks. XD Gamer says NBA, but everybody else is going with NFL. Keep the comments coming. NFL or NBA? Which one do you like more? We'll be doing plenty here at Chat Sports.
Tom, you might know the answer to this question just because you're one of the OGs. Mr. Awesome Guy said, did Chat Sports start with NFL or NBA?
We started with NFL stuff, but I'll have to go back and look at because definitely the first video was NFL.
I want to see the
time
very
of the year was
first
NFL.
video back in 2014.
I think it was a missed kick from the Vikings.
That's electric.
I think. I'll go back and check, but it was one of those. It was the Blair Walsh double doink. I think we put it on YouTube, or whatever it was. But yeah, it was NFL. But there's been plenty of NBA. And Bangus Garcia says PBA. Who do you think you are? I am. All right, let's move on to the next portion of today's show. Keep the comments coming, by the way, in the live chat. Welcome into NFL Daily. I am Tom Downey, and look, the NFL draft is over. The schedule release is coming. We're going to take a look at some of the top available NFL free agents, and I will predict where they sign, look at some other top destinations as well, beginning with Yannick Ngakoue, perhaps the best NFL free agent left unsigned. He has been fairly consistent as a pass rusher despite bouncing around a bunch of teams in recent years. Last 4 years, 5 teams, Colts, Raiders, Vikings, Ravens, and the Jags. He'll get you 8 sacks, though. Like, that is, and Trey Flowers got a massive deal for being 7-sack guy and then kind of quickly falling off there. I do not love Yannick Ngakoue as a run stopper. With where we're at in the calendar, I think a team could sign him to be the best possible version of himself. That is as a number 3 edge rusher who doesn't play that much on early downs, and they just say, Yannick, go get the quarterback. And I think that could lead to 10-plus sacks if he's allowed to be fresh and healthy and just teed up against opposing offensive tackles, knowing a pass is coming. So some top team fits for Yannick Ngakoue. The Chicago Bears. They have some big needs at edge. The Cleveland Browns rightfully did not bring back Jadeveon Clowney. They could still use some pass rush help opposite Myles Garrett. That would mean a lot of single teams for Ngakoue. Carolina was clearly in the market for more edge help. They took DJ Johnson for that. I don't love him, though. Could still go that route. The Rams, much like the Bears, badly need pass rush help. The Colts could also just re-sign him. It sounds like they're not that interested. So my prediction in the end, the Chicago Bears. The Bears have spent plenty of money. In fact, the Bears are actually under the spending minimum over the past couple of years. They have to spend a little bit more money. And their edge rushing room right now is not what I would consider a particularly great unit. Travis Gibson and Dominique Robinson are former 5th-round picks. Robinson flashed a little bit, but he hasn't had a chance to play that much. I think he's more of like a number 4 or number 3 edge right now. DeMarcus Walker and Rasheem Green they're kind of, I think, best and more as the run stoppers. And Walker played pretty well. Green's had some flashes, but none of these defensive linemen, Jalen Holmes and others on this roster, Andrew Brown, whatever, DeAnthony Jones, like, none of these guys make me go, I'm scared of him. There's Terrell Lewis. Like, no one makes me go, wow, that is a dynamic pass rusher. They do not have one. Ngakoue would immediately be the best pass rusher on this Bears team. I think that's a good idea to add to your room in May. Of all of the free agents left unsigned right now, who do you think is the best one out there? Sound off for me at the pinned comments of today's show. So if the ad break happens to come here on the YouTube side, take advantage of it. Head down there. Let me know who you think the best NFL free agent is. Let's go to Ezekiel Elliott. Ngakoue might be the best one. Elliott might be the most known one because, he was once a top NFL running back and played for the Cowboys. He was cut by Dallas. His market has been very quiet. Bucs kind of sort of linked, but not much going on there. And it's because he's not the dude that he once was. The breaking off long runs, big plays against the Steelers, the Bengals, the hurdles, they're now few and far between from that perspective. Elliott he's just not the same guy anymore. He's just not. Now, he can still be a good short yardage back for you. He can be a quality backup, but the NFL's ageist. RB2 and 3 often play special teams. Is he going to do that? I'm not so sure from that perspective. So I think he gets signed, but where does he get signed? Cowboys, Jerry's not ruled it out. I'd be a bit surprised unless there's just no market. The Bucs have his old RB coach, Gary Brown. They need a running back. The Chargers have Kellen Moore. They're a little bit thin behind Austin Ekeler, the likes of, maybe Isaiah Spiller breaks out. We'll find out. Arizona is where all former Cowboy running backs go to play, so it certainly makes some sense, although they're rebuilding. I think they want to go young. And the New York Football Jets were on Zeke's list of 3 teams, along with the Eagles and Bengals, and those teams didn't have much interest in him. I will stick, though, with my initial prediction back when Zeke first got cut. That is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know there are conflicting reports out there around the potential signing of Ezekiel Elliott in Tampa, but beyond Rachaad White, there's really not that much going on in the Bucs running back room. Sean Tucker's an intriguing UDFA. Keyshawn Vaughn is there, but he hasn't done anything. Is Chase Edmonds that much better? I'm not so sure. So where do you think Ezekiel Elliott ends up signing? Make your own predictions for me in the comments section right now. While you're down there, click the link for chatsports.com/NFL jersey. It'll take you to the new jerseys led by the rookies, Mozzie Smith of the Cowboys, and you'll see some placeholder numbers because not all of them are actually finalized with the league, although Bijan Robinson's going to wear number 7. Not that the 1 looks that different than the 7 because, the Falcons number font's kind of weird. C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson. Get the new rookie jersey for your favorite NFL player, whoever that is, at chatsports.com/NFL jersey. Great time to buy. Get it here. That way it's basically pre-ordered before the start of the regular season. Still plenty ways away. It's chatsports.com/NFL jersey. How about a quarterback? How about one Teddy Bridgewater? In a not good quarterback free agency market, because it's May and these guys don't last, Teddy Bridgewater, I would say almost under the radar, is a surprisingly unsigned team or a player. And look, Bridgewater is not a great quarterback. He's had a great recovery from that brutal injury in Minnesota. He's bounced around the Vikings, the Jets, the Saints, the Panthers, the Broncos, the Dolphins. Like, he has really bounced around in recent years. But as far as backups go, I know there are worse teams out there with a backup quarterback who's not as good as Teddy Bridgewater. I almost went with Arizona on this list, but they kind of have Colt McCoy playing the exact same role. Clayton Tune is the young guy. The Detroit Lions allegedly had an offer out to Teddy Bridgewater, but they also drafted Hendon Hooker. Maybe they don't go that route. Tampa could just bring in all of the, he exists quarterbacks. You got John Wolford, you got Baker Mayfield, Kyle Trask. I will put the Niners on every quarterback list because they have to. They always get hurt. Minnesota, how about a reunion for Teddy Bridgewater? Go back there. And maybe he is better than Nick Mullins. I kind of think he is. My prediction, though, the Green Bay Packers. Because you look at this quarterback room, even if you are a believer in Jordan Love being top 15, top whatever, the other quarterbacks right now in Green Bay are Sean Clifford, the 5th-round pick, and Danny Etling, who's bad at football. Wouldn't you want a veteran presence in there to help out Jordan Love at least a little bit? They drafted Sean Clifford to be the super intelligent guy in the room. He's a rookie. That doesn't make any sense. I think Green Bay is the perfect spot for Teddy Bridgewater. Let him be quarterback 2 and be the vet influence. Now, Chat Sports, folks, not to toot our own horn, I think we're awesome. I think we make great content for you guys, and it's all free. For more NFL videos each and every single day, constant updates with what's going on around the NFL, just subscribe. It is free, and it always will be. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. Don't miss out. Hit that sub button for more NFL and NBA coverage with the offseason almost upon us. Finally, Sam's guy, Dalton Risner, the former Kansas State guard. Look, he wasn't as good last year. There's no way around that. But I am surprised he's unsigned. I've seen offensive line play across the NFL. It's not very good. Risner, I think, can still start, or at least be a really good 6th guard. Maybe his own value is different than what it's been offered. That's why he's unsigned. More in depth on Risner. But for your team, whoever that is, if you could only sign one of these guys, and you had to, by the way, who would it be? EE for Ezekiel Elliott, TB for Teddy Bridgewater, YN for Yannick Ngakoue, or DR for Dalton Risner? Risner, again, he wasn't as good last year. The Broncos' offense in general was, how do I put this delicately without risking getting canceled? A large steaming pile of dog crap. It was terrible. It was a mess. There's no way around it. So I don't want to blame Risner for his numbers and results being down when everything about that offense was worse. There are some teams that I think make some sense there. Tampa is still in the market for offensive lineup. They're kind of shuffling some pieces around. Adding Risner would certainly make some sense. The Jags could use another backup guard. Maybe they believe in Ben Barch, in which case, awesome, but there's some insurance there. Dallas has a bit of a question mark at left guard. Is it Terrence Steele, Tyler Smith, Chuma Edoga? Yeah, didn't think so. The Dolphins, I put this on there just for Will Scott. He'd be mad at me if I didn't because he thinks every lineman's going to Miami. He also hates Liam Eichenberg with a passion. But I went with the Raiders as my prediction. Vegas they're doing the Josh McDaniels teardown thing, which I don't love. Now, what I think you would have to do here is probably move Dylan Parham to not left guard or put Dalton Reisner at right guard. He's been a left guard. But I mean, right now, Vegas is in line to start Alex Bars or Netani Muti, who I liked him coming out of Fresno, but he was worse than Reisner. So you can get the starter in Denver or the backup in Denver. Like, wouldn't you pick the starter? I think that just makes sense. So the Raiders need offensive line help. I think it's a sign the solid football player, figure out where everyone plays after that. That's just my idea there. Remember, folks, if you have not already, to get your rookie jerseys at chatsports.com/NFL jersey. I know it's good when I made Sam laugh multiple times in the same video. That's how I know.
That was a good video.
That's how I know I'm doing well.
That's
there.
a damn good video. I was also laughing about the opportunity to be able to say Quay here soon. So
I intentionally did not let you do it in the build-up.
I know.
Going to try to avoid it. Today is actually National Golf Day. So non-football-wise, what is your guys' favorite sport? Sam is a treat to watch golf. And that's all I will say. If you want to unveil what I mean by that, Sam, that is up to you.
Well, I'm a very competitive person. I always say I'm the most competitive person I know.
You need to stay positive more.
I don't. Yeah, I do need to stay positive. I don't stay positive is my problem.
What happens to Sam is he'll be doing fine. He'll have a bad hole. And that leads to 4 bad holes in a row.
I just need to manage.
You've got to be able to flush it, man.
I've got to be able to manage expectations. And I've got to understand I'm always going to double the first, at least. Like, just accept it. I'm going to show up not warm. I'm going to show up 5 minutes before my tee time. I'm going to blame, at some point in the first 6 holes, I'm going to blame it on the fact that I didn't get any putting beforehand. Just accept it. Accept the fact that that's happening. I do need to work on my ability, my bounce back ability, because it's not as big of a factor in other sports. Like you got 5 minutes to get your shit back together.
You got to be like a kicker or a quarterback or a running back after a turnover. Flush it. You got to move on immediately.
Exactly.
You can't let one missed kick become 4, Brett Maher.
That's exactly that you put it there perfectly. You have to have like a kicker's mentality of just it's one bad shot, on to the next. I don't have that right now. And I'm looking forward to more opportunities to grow that.
I see some soccer comments in there.
Yes, sir.
The other football. Sam's a big soccer guy.
The OG.
Basketball, baseball, hockey. Parlor says baseball tonight, hockey at a bar. Hockey's the best in person.
Yes.
TV does not do it justice.
Hockey is electric.
It's just not the same. And in-person hockey is awesome. NASCAR's in there. Cricket. Kind of think XD Game was trolling a bit there. Ben says golf, my guy. Basketball, baseball, MMA. That's a fun answer.
I like MMA too. I've become a big UFC follower in the last 7-8 years.
Basketball, probably basketball. Playing basketball, watching hockey. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, like basketball's the next best one to play. Well, I guess after golf.
I'm not going to lie too. Whenever you told me it was National Golf Day, I thought, to the audience, I thought Tom was just going to have a question. What's your handicap? Just so he can be like, my handicap's 6. What's yours, Sam? And I'm like 37 or whatever my handicap
I wasn't going to do that to you.
I had a feeling.
I wasn't going to play you dirty.
I'm glad you didn't. I was
going to play you dirty.
That would have hurt.
Plus, I just think people don't know what their handicap is. That's not something a lot of people do. Like, even if what?
I could pull up my current handicap right now on the 18 Birdies app.
Apparently mine expired, so I haven't updated with my recent low rounds.
Sad.
There
27.2.
you go.
I think my last few rounds helped me lower it. Not lower it in a good way. It's a higher it's a bigger number.
Good to
I've been playing worse.
Handicap maintenance days. That's what that is.
Yes.
Keep the handicap high, so when you play, you get more shots.
I get worse apparently the more I golf. That's fun.
It happens. All right. It is mailbag time. There are 2 ways to get on the show for you guys live. Number 1, Super Chat. George Lopez, I see you, my friend. We'll hit your Super Chat early on. Or you can use hashtag NFL. Now, if you use hashtag NFL, you are put into a system that forces Sam to pick and choose your question at his discretion. So if you Super Chat, you're guaranteed. If you use hashtag NFL, Sam's the decider for who gets brought up.
Well, you can hop in the quay. You can wait in line for a little bit. I wanted to see how long I could just hold you in suspense there. You can hop in the quay using hashtag NFL.
It's the comment driver, or it's the comment puller system.
Yes.
The
yes.
CPS.
Proprietary.
Yes.
Data scraper.
Proprietary data scraper.
But I always have the 60-second rule. As long as Tom, if you super chat, not only do you jump to the front of the line.
By the way, every live show we've done, when Sam says that, he has not gotten to it.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. You forgot one last show.
I did forget one last show, but it's not every show here. Come on.
Okay, so when I say it's like this, it's not fair. But when you say I don't tag you in tweets, it's fair.
Yes, that is the narrative I'm trying to cultivate.
You have forgotten more supers than I've forgotten to tag you in tweets.
That
is true, and you know it. That is true, and you know it.
Those numbers are closer than you think.
If you say so. It's mailbag.
Get in the quay. 60 seconds. If you send a super chat, you'll be on screen. Get in the quay.
Hashtag NFL or super chat for the mailbag. You're watching NFL Daily. I am Tom Downey. Our Wednesday live shows, we do one mailbag. We answer all of your questions live. The mailbags are done live. So the only way to be a part of them is to be subscribed. So if you want your questions answered, if you want to have some of this during our live shows, make sure you guys are subscribed. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. Hit that sub button so you don't miss out on anything here at Chat Sports. A $5 super chat to begin from George Lopez. What's the latest on Tony and Gallup? Excuse me, I'm Bo Jackson hiccuping here. Thanks for the draft hat. Well, thank you, George. We appreciate your support here, my friend. Glad it arrived on time. Tony Pollard, I'm not that worried about Pollard. I know it continues to be reported of broke his leg, needed surgery. He broke his leg and he needed surgery, but he did not need surgery for the broken leg. The leg fracture healed on its own. It was the ankle that required surgery, the tightrope ankle procedure. I think he's going to be good to go for camp. Gallup, I don't know, man. I hope he's better. The Cowboys restructured to show some confidence in him, but he didn't have confidence last year. They need good Gallup back, or it's not going to be ideal. From RC Plane Builder 2, the second account. Falcons win 11 games, take first place in the NFC South, and make the divisional round. That means Desmond Ridder took a big-time step forward. Now, I could see a scenario where somebody wins 11 games in NFC South. It's not a great division, you know. Tampa's rebuilding. The Saints are viewed as the betting favorite, but it's not like Derek Carr's a top 10 quarterback. Ridder and Young have upside, probably a bit more with Young being the number one overall pick, but those teams are coming off not great years. NFC South is gettable for, I would say, all four teams. Jewelor, what opponent should the Niners be worried about this season? Whoever you play week 1, week 2, because that's just, you know, how it tends to go. The Niners start a little bit slowly. I think the other main contenders in the NFC, in some order, Philadelphia, Dallas stand out. And, you know, if a team like the Rams figures things out again, cool. Seattle will be solid. The Niners should be viewed as one of, if not the favorites, though, in the NFC. Jeff from Jump Street. Is this 21? Yeah, there you go. Matt Stafford getting traded this year. I have always been very confused by the claims from... I think it was Mike Lombardi who just like misses things all the time. Yeah, he got Gilmore right off my crap list, then went right back on it because he got more things wrong. By the Matthew Stafford trade rumors. Matthew Stafford's contract isn't tradable for LA unless they're trying to fully tear it down and get a bunch of picks back. The dead cap number on Matthew Stafford is $74 million. If the Rams traded Matthew Stafford right now, that is what they would be paying him. That doesn't make any sense. That's not how NFL teams do business. That they would not eat that massive number of dead cap unless they're getting just massive picks back for a long-term rebuild. It makes a little bit more sense post-June 1st, but the Rams are still going to be paying Matthew Stafford more to not be on their roster for the next 2 years if they traded him. I don't think that's what the team wants to do. Even if they're clearly rebuilding on defense or resetting on defense, not the same thing on offense. So prediction time with Matthew Stafford. It's worked for the Rams. They won the title. F them picks worked. But will they make the playoffs again with Matthew Stafford? Y for yes, N for no. It is the pinned comment on today's show. If an ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and go vote Y or N. Carter Reimer, does Brock Bowers fall to pick 32 for Miami next year? First off, I love the putting the Dolphins at 32. Power move there. The answer is no. I don't think he falls to pick 22 or probably not pick 12. Tight end value is a bit wonky. How many tight ends can we count that can take reverses and jet sweep handoffs and score from 60 yards out? Not many. He's going to be a very early pick this year, or I guess next year. That one Falcons fan, please, for the love of God, tell my Falcons to sign Yannick Ngakoue. I actually like what Atlanta did on defense, and if they didn't sign Bud Dupree, I think they'd have a lot more interest. But remember, they drafted Zach Harrison in the third. They have Arnold Ebiketie last year, D'Angelo Malone. Short term makes sense. Long term, I think they still want to give some reps to some of those younger edge rushers. From Vince, what does it mean for the future that matches between two playoff caliber teams like Bills, Jags, KC, Miami come to Europe? I think the NFL is trying to give some good games to their international overseas matchups, right? Like Bills, Jags, well, remember, Jacksonville always plays there. So Jacksonville being good is good for the NFL international games. Chiefs, Miami, they're a pretty good football game. Other matchups like when the Titans and Falcons play might not be as good for the NFL, but they do want to give some good games to help continue to grow. And I think they want to put Jacksonville over there all the time to make Jacksonville the NFL London team, basically. From Parlay, first off, this is an on-brand name for this question. What do you make of the illegal betting from players? Don't be stupid, guys. Jameson Williams, I am convinced this is what happened. They were at the facility. They got the Woj tweet of someone being out, and they tried to beat the books. What's what we do all the time. We try to beat the books. Got the news. Let's get a bet in real quick. Can't do it in the team facility. There is I don't know if double standard's the right word, but a weird dichotomy of, NFL is, there are sports books in the stadium, but you can't bet. Players can't be using sportsbook apps at the facility. There's a weird double standard there, but you can't bet on games. You cannot bet on the NFL standpoint. I would almost say maybe the whole betting in facilities fine. I think that might need to go, but if you're betting on games, you're just an idiot. You passed you failed the stupidity test. Just don't do it. It's that simple. EK28, will the Chiefs repeat? Probably not. Repeating is really hard in any sport. So, betting favorite? Sure. Will they? I'll take the field. Now, who do you have winning the Super Bowl this year? Chiefs, Philly, Niners, Bills, Bengals? Can't believe that last two teams are real answers in the same year. Who do you have winning? Sound off in the comment section right now. Patrick, 1963. If you could redo the draft for any team you want, who would you choose and why? Ooh, that's a good question. Do you mean if they could redo it, would they make changes? I think there will be a couple of teams you're like, the board really did not fall the way we thought we were going to. Maybe the Jets. Maybe if the Jets knew that the Steelers were going to snipe them on Broderick Jones, they would find a way to trade back up to get him, because I know that they wanted him and not Will McDonald. For just the teams that I didn't like, can I make the Niners not take a kicker in the top 100? Because that's a bad idea. I don't like those ideas at all. From Botted Boys 133, where does Henry go? Cowboys still or Eagles? I think this is Derrick Henry. I don't think he's going anywhere. I've never really bought into the Derrick Henry trade idea. I think Mike Vrabel wants to run the football too much. I think Vrabel still wants to win games, even if the rest of the roster is still kind of being retooled, reset a little bit. Eagles got DeAndre Swift because they are the Georgia Eagles, the Philadelphia Bulldogs, but I don't think either team is really in the market for Derrick Henry. Christian Navarro, Tom, which NFL team will have the hardest schedule for 2023? I know that the strength of schedule stuff was released. The NFC South, I think, has the easiest slate of games. The NFC East actually has it pretty bad. I would look at a team like the Commanders, because you're playing 3 playoff teams in division, Giants, Eagles, and Cowboys, and you have some pretty tough crossover games, in the NFC, in the AFC East, which is maybe the best division in football. You get the NFC West for some games. So that's maybe the Commanders, when it's all said and done, it's wow, they played a really tough schedule. XD Gamer 22, thoughts on Deshaun Watson in his situation. Massage Boy, look, I think I've made, by that kind of comments alone, I think I've made my thoughts clear on Deshaun Watson. But the football player, he's got to be better. I think you can make an argument that Jacoby Brissett outplayed Deshaun Watson last year, which is not good. Now, he was away from football for a long time. In theory, he ends up playing better. The Browns need him to, because if he plays like he did last year, Stefanski's getting fired. So subscribe for the best NFL, NBA, NFL, and college football videos right here on YouTube. They are free, and they always will be, multiple times per day, every single day. Do not miss out. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Tomcat, great first name, and that looks like an evil Yoda. What is up with the Commanders and the tampering charges? So background here is it was reported that the Commanders midseason reached out to Andrew Luck through a third party to gauge his interest in coming out of retirement, which he was not going to. Waste of time, just like how they wasted time calling the Chiefs about Patrick Mahomes. Stupid. Here's the problem. The Colts hold Andrew Luck's contract rights, and they would have to go through the Colts first. So if that did happen, that is by definition tampering. And we saw the NFL come down hard on Miami. There is a new owner coming in for Washington. Maybe the NFL doesn't want to start the new owner off without a draft pick. Maybe they fast track it and find Daniel Snyder as a result. I don't think major happens, but if it's true, it is by definition tampering. From Mr. Jones, how stupid are the Titans drafting Will Levis over Hendon Hooker? Instant triple fan base and better quarterback. I don't think you triple the fan base overnight by drafting a Tennessee quarterback. I don't think that's actually how things get done, because you're already Tennessee's team. And I think if drafting a Kentucky quarterback versus a Tennessee quarterback is a reason why a fan is no longer a fan or is a fan, that's not going to be a long-term one either. That's going to be a short-term one, or the type of fan that goes to a Titans game in a Peyton Manning Tennessee jersey when they're playing the Colts. Like, I don't know if that's what you really want there. Hooker's better right now, but he's also 25 years old, coming off torn ACL, and Levis has more upside. I'm not convinced either guy's great, but prospect-wise, I actually had Levis over Hendon Hooker. I actually had Hooker exactly where he went, so I call that a win for myself. Tom's burner page. Will the Titans, speaking of, trade Ryan Tannehill? I don't think so, in large part because who wants Ryan Tannehill right now? Does anyone? Maybe if the Jets didn't get Aaron Rodgers, it could have made some sense, but like, the Bucs aren't adding Ryan Tannehill. The Packers aren't. Like, I think it's one more year of Tannehill and then give Will Levis the reins, see if he's good. If not, they can draft a new quarterback in 2, 3, whatever years. When it comes to trades, by the way, name a player who you would like to see traded. Sound off in the comment section right now. A $5 super chat from Mark. Thank you, Mark. Came in Sam's 60-second guarantee. The tight end pick over Osiris Torrance will haunt us. We did quite well until JJ wanted projects in this draft. JJ's as useful as a preacher's wife at a strip club. That is a unique analogy, Mark. I appreciate that one, my friend. Okay, I think they really wanted a tight end. I think they kind of forced the tight end pick in the end. From Chill Will. How many more years do you think Travis Kelce can perform at an elite level? It's a really good question. I do think Travis Kelce has, I don't know, I'll call it kind of the Witten in him of like, I think he'll play for a very long time. I think the 1,000-yard seasons he's been on since 2016, let that sink in for a second, probably about to wind down. I mean, he turns 34 this year. But, so the elite 1,000-yard campaigns, maybe 1 or 2 years. The still getting 700-plus yards, maybe he could be Antonio Gates. Maybe he can play that well for that long. John Dorman, top 3 surprise teams. Ooh, good question. I assume we want to go in a positive standpoint here, right? We don't want to be all negative and predict the busts there. So I'll go positive. Jets are too obvious. I think the Patriots will be better than people think. That probably means around 9 wins, but that's what they do under Bill Belichick. insert NFC South team here. Somebody has to win that division. One of them will surprise from that standpoint. I want to say the Bears are going to surprise too, but I'm not overly confident in that one. And I'll go. If Anthony Richardson has a quicker than expected adjustment time frame, Indy makes a lot of sense. Maybe it's Tennessee, Indy, or Houston wins 8 or 9 games this upcoming year. It is National Burger Month, so our non-NFL sports-focused question of the day. What is your favorite burger place? Sam, favorite burger joint? Could be like a local area or just like a national regional chain.
We talked about this before the show.
We did.
Fast food, the correct answer is Whataburger for this question, especially if you're from Texas or most other places in the South. Jake's is a local Dallas.
Jake's a good spot.
It's a Dallas burger spot here that I really like. They actually closed the original Jake's on McKinney Avenue here in Dallas a few months ago, and it was heartbreaking because I could walk there from my apartment.
Some of their drink specials were so good.
Oh, it's just perfect. My roommate never liked the poppy seed buns, but I was all
I didn't love the poppy seed buns, but like the drink specials alone made it worthwhile.
You're giving me chills right now just thinking about it. Oh, I miss Jake's.
Get hammered after like just one big drink. Culver's is a good choice too.
Culver's is a good spot. I've only been there once
really good.
At a Culver's in Wisconsin.
It's good.
That's a good one.
Habit. I didn't love Habit that much.
I've never been Habit.
It's more of a West Coast, I think. Wendy's, not bad.
I want somebody to type
fast food.
Someone type In-N-Out so I can rip it to shreds. Please.
Several Whataburgers in there. Red Robin. Red Robin's ranch is delicious. There you go. Not a sponsor. Not a sponsor.
Yum.
White Castle.
No free ads.
Clayton says Stamps, a local joint here in Jackson, Mississippi.
The best burger places.
You find your
local.
good local burger spot, always good.
The burger joint that looks like it's gonna shut down permanently at the end of the day usually has the best burger.
The greasier, the better.
Town. Yeah.
I see some Five Guys, and Carter Reimer says In-N-Out. What's wrong with it, Sam? Sound off, King.
I mean, where do you want to start? Whataburger's better. The fries are cheeks.
In-N-Out
fries are thin and soggy.
Burgers are very good. In-N-Out's fries are terrible.
The fries are terrible. I personally think the burger's a little bit overrated too. I mean, everyone remembers 8 years ago when In-N-Out first came to Texas, and everyone was losing their minds. Lines out to the highway, onto the highway.
The fries were so bad.
For a mid-meal when you can just go to Whataburger, save probably a couple bucks too, and get a better burger out of it. A more creative burger than just the double, the cheese double, the single, the cheese single.
Christopher says we're ignoring the Jags for the surprise team. See, I think most of us think they're going to be good.
Yeah, I mean,
he's like, we're going to 12 wins here. I'm like, probably.
If I remember correctly.
But we expect that. Therefore, it's not a surprise.
If I remember correctly, they were in the top 10 of our post-NFL draft power rankings, top 12 at most.
They are
the
clear betting favorite in the AFC South. So I would not consider them the surprise team. I was looking for teams that we don't think are going to be very good and could maybe end up being around 500 or better. That's what I was going for. So I left off Jags from the AFC South because I think we all think they're going to win that division. If we did a poll, will Jacksonville win the AFC South? About 80% of it vote yes.
Yeah, who else is going to win it? I mean, the Titans are going to crawl to 9 wins, 10 wins, and fall in the first round of the playoffs again.
Houston could double their wins and be 6. That'd be a surprise, right?
Yeah.
Jacksonville getting 12 wins. I think their over-under is 10.5. I just think they're going to be good. So it's not that we're ignoring them. It's just that we're already counting them in the good category is what I'm at there. So, yeah, I believe so. Check the. You're up. All right, get your comments in there. Favorite burger place sound off as we get ready for the final segment of today's live show. Hello, friends, and welcome into NFL Daily. I am Tom Downey. Bleacher Report has cooked up a bunch of different big-time trade ideas, so we figured we'll have some fun and break down the trades and if they actually make sense or not. Number 1, the Giants get Budda Baker from the Arizona Cardinals in exchange for a 2024 second-round pick. Now, we'll break down the contract details for both parties involved here for each of the players. The Cardinals would save $9.32 right now, $13.10 million after June 1st. You're almost there. You could probably wait at this point, but I want to give both numbers there. The number for the Giants does not change, or the team acquiring the player does not change at all, 13.10, although it's a bit of an asterisk on that front there. Budda Baker has been one of the better safeties in the NFL for several years now. He's got good tackle numbers in various years, good pass breakups, TFLs, sacks, interceptions. I actually think he would thrive in a Giants Don Wink Martindale defense. He is the perfect type of safety for him. The issue is, and why, Baker would be available for a premium pick, make no mistake about it, is because of the money. Budda Baker, not long after the season ended, went to the Cardinals and said, I want to be the highest paid safety, or you should trade me. And then it came out a while later that Budda Baker's requested a trade. So read between the lines, connect the dots, right? The Arizona Cardinals do not want to make Baker the highest paid because they are rebuilding. They're not a good football team right now, and Baker might not fit their timeline. So the $13.10 million you'd owe Budda Baker, it'd probably come down in year one to more like 5, 6, or 7 because you would be giving him a new contract and paying him upwards of 19.1. Maybe it's only $18 million per year. That is a lot of money to pay and give up a second-round pick, but I do think he'd be an awesome fit with the New York Giants. So if he does get dealt, the Giants are a really good and logical destination for him. So of all the players out there, please keep it somewhat realistic. No Aaron Donald, Patrick Mahomes, Micah Parsons, TJ Watt stuff. Name a player who you want to see dealt. It is the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, then take advantage of it. While the ad plays, let it. No one cares. Head down there and go name a player who you want to see traded. Trade idea number 2. Dalvin Cook to the Jets for a 4th-round pick. It's interesting because the Dalvin Cook release trade rumors have been out there for months now. The Vikings would save $7.9 million to the trade right now, but you're also after the draft, so for all these teams, you'd probably wait till June 1 because extra savings, $11 million, the exact number the Jets would owe Dalvin Cook this season. The issue for Cook is that the signs of decline are beginning to appear. Look at the average. 5.1, that is awesome numbers in 2020. 4.7, that's still really good. 4.4, that's not as good. The yards over expectation have begun to dip each of the last couple years. Running back shelf lives are short. Now, the pitch from Bleacher Report was, who cares about the shelf life? Aaron Rodgers has a couple good years left in him. Get more talent. Is running back how you want to add more talent, though? Is it? You have Breece Hall in theory back for week 1 from injury. Michael Carter, my guy Israel Abanikanda, Zonovan Knight, you can be fine with those backs. And with the investment you made in Breece Hall, is paying Dalvin Cook $11 million to be in a committee at best the route you want to go? I'm not so sure. In Minnesota's, from their standpoint, 4th-round pick's actually pretty good value. And they've got bodies. They re-signed Alexander Mattison, kind of a surprising move. Kenny Nwangwu's been their kick returner. Ty Chandler was a recent draft pick. Dwayne McBride. The numbers don't add up, especially if they're going to, assuming they will, it seems likely they're going to carry fullback C.J. Ham again for Minnesota to keep all of those backs. Something, hopefully not injuries, but something has to change. So will the Vikings trade Dalvin Cook? Y for yes, N for no. Make those predictions in the comments section. Trade number 3, another running back, Cordarrelle Patterson to the Browns for a 7th-round pick. A very buy low scenario for Cleveland, who, look, the Falcons drafted Bijan Robinson, right? They have Tyler Algier. Patterson is not as important anymore. The Falcons would save $4.25 million by waiting until after June 1st, post $1.75. The Browns would owe Patterson $4.25 million. the numbers weren't as good for Cordarrelle Patterson in 2022. The yards actually went up a little bit, but the receiving yardage plummeted. Not nearly as impactful in that area. The touchdowns weren't as good. He was a touchdown machine. He had over 1,000 combined yards 2021. The Falcons figured out how to use him properly. But then they spent a first-round pick on Bijan. He's going to get the workload. Tyler Algier ran for 1,000 yards as a rookie. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. The Falcons were like, 1,000-yard rusher, who cares? Bijan. So you've got, legitimately, I think we all think Bijan's going to go for 1,000 yards, right? You have 2,000-yard players on your roster. Do you need Cordarrelle Patterson? Avery Williams can be your return man. Caleb Huntley can be RB3. And that's, I think, the value for Patterson at his age, unfortunately, probably isn't quite that high. The Browns, meanwhile, the role they drafted Demetric Felton for is basically what Cordarrelle Patterson has been. So, look, the Falcons can keep Patterson as the return man, although I think Avery Williamson can do that role just fine, save some money, and instead of putting Jakeem Grant back there or Jerome Ford or DPJ or Jalen Darden, Browns can plug in Cordarrelle Patterson. I don't hate that idea. I still wonder if you can get more than a 7th, though, in exchange for Cordarrelle Patterson. We have free videos for you guys all year long. Off-season, preseason, regular season, boring season. We've got you covered. Hit that sub button right now for more free NFL videos. Trade idea number 4. This one will go over well for some in the audience. Chase Young to Seattle for not 1 but 2 second-round picks. One of them would be a conditional draft pick. The Chase Young trade value is pretty tough to figure out. The money's pretty easy. He is in the 4th year of his rookie deal. The 5th-year option already declined. 5.32 saved by the Commanders. 5.32 owed by Seattle. Here's the issue with Chase Young. Rookie year, 15 games played, 13 TFL, 7.5 sacks. You're like, this guy's the truth. He's going to be a double-digit sack machine. He's had 1.5 sacks in 12 games since then. He's been banged up. He's mistimed. The next Bosa has not delivered in the past 2 years, and it puts the Commanders in a weird spot where their internal value for what Chase Young could still become is probably higher than what you'd be paying for a guy with 9 sacks in 3 years in reality, despite the draft pedigree associated with Chase Young. 2 seconds is probably fair. I wonder if either team would actually be willing to give that up. The Seahawks, though, are a fun fit. And the issue is they've spent a lot of picks on edges. Darrell Taylor, round 2. Didn't like that one much. Maybe he has a breakout year. Boye Mafia actually did like that one. Derek Hall was a little familiar, but it makes sense. Alton Robinson, Uchenna Nwosu. You have to be convinced Chase Young is your guy because 2 seconds is a lot to give up. But I think we'd feel better about the Seattle edge rushing room if they got one. It would also be a sign of commitment to Geno Smith because if the Seahawks struggle this year and they win, say, 5 or 6 games, they might want those picks to go up and get a new quarterback next year. So it's a fun short-term fit. I wonder if Seattle would have some long-term concerns there. In general, knowing it's a tough question to answer, what is Chase Young worth in a trade? Is it a first? Is it less? Way less? A little bit less? Sound off in the comments section what you think Chase Young is worth in a trade. One more trade idea. Kello Witherspoon, speaking of former Seahawks, Witherspoon, to the Raiders. Steelers get a 2024 6th-round pick. This one's a bit more of a logical trade idea because Pittsburgh's got options. They'd save $4 million with a trade of Witherspoon, and the Raiders would then pay the 4, and they've got issues in the cornerback room. Witherspoon's kind of had a bit of a weird career. Flashes in San Francisco, and then goes to the Seahawks and up and down, and then goes to Pittsburgh, ends up being great. He was actually signed by Seattle. They traded him away, and then was good in year 1 in Pittsburgh. Kind of got banged up. Wasn't as good this past year. They've got options. Now, what's interesting for Pittsburgh is they did just cut Arthur Mollett, their nickel corner. Now, Shandon Sullivan, Levi Wallace could play that role, and even James Pierre. They drafted Joey Porter Jr. They signed Patrick Peterson. They drafted the injured Corey Trice, who fell because of medical, but that could be a steal because Pittsburgh said F them medical concerns. Witherspoon might be extra depth. And you can make a very real argument that even though he's not a great football player, he's not a real number one corner. If he went to the Raiders, he might be number one by a big margin. I actually like Duke Shelley a lot. I like Nate Hobbs as a nickel type of player. David Long is former third-round pick. Amik Robertson. Ja'Cory Benton in the fourth. There's probably some names you think are made up on this screen. I promise you they are not. Raiders need cornerback help. That's why I was convinced the pick was going to be Christian Gonzalez. That Tyree Wilson was fine. Don't get me wrong. It's a good pick. But cornerback's a big area of concern. I think that's a logical destination for any corner if they end up getting moved. All right, back to the pinned comment on today's show, or the pinned poll, I should say. Best quarterback in the NFL. M for Mahomes, O for other. 76% voting M for Mahomes, Sam. I think that makes sense. I think that's about what I thought it would be. There will always be some homers, and I respect how do you for it.
That is the logical answer. The shocking number to me is that 24% of people think Mahomes is not the best quarterback in the league. What in the world are these people smoking?
I see easily Tua. That's two and on for you from Carter Reimer. I love two and on. Never change. But, I don't think there's the same level of... It's homers. That's what it is. Which is fine. It's fine. It's fine.
That's the
Rep your guy.
The simple way of phrasing that.
But if we're being like, you can make arguments at times for other quarterbacks. Burrow, Rodgers went on, Allen went on, but over the course of the year, I'm taking Mahomes. Certainly not Zach Wilson.
Milf Hunter?
Maybe for different things you take Mahomes or you take Zach Wilson, but not that. Cooper Rush, you know what? That's a great answer. Rush and Ben DiNucci.
I was gonna say. No one put Dak Prescott in the chat right now. That is not
Cooper
the right
Rush,
answer.
Ben DiNucci. All right, that is it.
And one more, Nathan Peterman.
The GOAT.
And Chris Streveler.
Oh, now we're getting weighty. Taysom Hill.
Anthony Brown.
There you go. Ben DiNucci. All right. Chat Sports is live every single week, folks, so make sure you are subscribed. Back live on Monday for more NFL coverage. Then Tuesday, NBA Draft Lottery. Don't miss out. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Thank you all so much for tuning in.